Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Demon Souls livestream series. It is currently the 42nd part, I think, yeah. I thought it was the 41st, but it's actually the 42nd. And, yeah, it is currently the 15th of June 2020 as I'm recording this. This happens to be the first post-Demon Souls remake recording that I'm doing, and the reason why I say post-Demon Souls remake, in spite of the fact that it is a long way away from coming out at this stage, is because before this point, we didn't really know if there was going to even be a remaster, much less a remake, so I think things are different now. We're going to be looking at this game in a different manner to how we looked at it before we knew that. Previously, this game was just what it was, and we didn't really overthink it. Now, we're going to be sort of looking at everything that probably needs to be changed, but anyway. I wanted to start off by saying that I didn't really like the Demon Souls livestream thing that I did for the reveal of the remake, so I'm probably going to talk about a few things now that are going to more or less rehash what was spoken about in that video, but I'm probably not going to go deeply into it even then, because, oh dear. Now, there's something on my bed that I will mention. It's a broken beer glass that's inside bubble wrap. It's sitting on my bed and part of it just slipped off and I'm scared that glass shards are going to go everywhere. But anyway, yeah, welcome back again, thank you. I did have a false start, just doing it again here. I poured myself a bottle of Trappist Rochefort 8, which is an inferior version of the 10 beer. But I haven't tried number 8 before, so we're going to do that now. It has been a very long time since I had number 10, so I can't really say for sure how this one compares, but it's not as strong, I don't think. Taste is pretty similar. So ultimately, I mean, that's not the most profound review, not as strong, but again, it's been a while since I had number 10, so I couldn't really give you an exact comparison. But, yeah, what is this? This is 9.2 ABV, whereas I believe this one's 11. Or is it 10? What is it? It's, yeah, 11.3, so that's the difference, really. I mean, that always has to account for some sort of taste difference. Hello, Mr. Spaceman, welcome to the live stream. But yeah, my day started kind of poorly today. I had a broken glass delivered to me, which was just phenomenal, and I need to chase that up after I've actually done this recording, which I'm not looking forward to doing. But yeah, that's been my morning. How's yours been? Or your evening, depending on time zones, I suppose. Just getting up the Twitch chat, and then we will begin. What I actually did last night, and I was very pleased to see that I no longer need to grind Greystone, because what I did last night was I spent about an hour and a half grinding Greystone, and I didn't get 1 pure Greystone, I didn't get 2, I got 3 in a 1 hour and a half session. So I was very pleased to see that, and I'm also pleased to announce that we are able to just continue. I should do alcohol reviews, yeah, that's right. This one tastes a little weaker than the stronger version, you know. Wow. Tell me more, Doomlink. Anyway. And hello again, Jenny Jones. I will make this the last time I say this, but I do apologize for calling you Jerry Jones. But anyway, yeah, I will show you what I have in-game right now. We have a Crushing Nightsword +5 and a Crushing Guillotine Axe +5. Keeping in mind we did not get our free Pure Greystone from Skivvy the Wanderer by presenting to him the Dragon Bone Smasher, and even as I sit here now, I do not have an explanation as to why that happened. I had pure white World Tendency in World 2, and I was not given access to the Dragon Bone Smasher. Therefore, I was not able to get that free pure Greystone from Skivvy the Wanderer. But I was very lucky yesterday when I was grinding the Greystone in World 2.2 because I got 3 pure Greystone, which, in fact, I would go so far as to say that it's not that difficult to get pure Greystone, because I was also very lucky last time I was grinding it. I think as long as you go pure Black World Tendency in the location that you're grinding something, you'll have decent chances of getting what you want, except the pure Bladestone. That's that's a little notorious. But anyway, I basically do review alcohol. You are correct about that. In the case of Trappist Rochefort, I mean, this is one of my favorite beers for sure, if not my favorite beer. I suppose among the Belgian beers, this one would be my favorite, but the problem, oh yeah, nice and blurry. Yeah, this is my favorite of the Belgian beers. But the problem is, I used to be able to get this for 10 Australian dollars in my local bottle shop, but it has since risen in price to $14. Now, for a fucking bottle of beer like this, a $4 increase in price is not insignificant. And it's hard to go from spending $10 to $14, because if you get 2 bottles, instead of paying 20, you're paying 28. You know, it starts to add up when you get more than 1 bottle. So, therefore, I was considering starting to get this instead. This ended up being like, I think it was $11 before, now it's $12. So even this, if I get 2 of these, that's $24. Fucking annoying. They will restore cut content in the Demon's Souls remake, Jenny Jones, because we were shown a snow area, and the Land of the Giants is a snow area. If you are familiar with the original Demon's Souls here, there is nothing in this base game content that has snow. So that's just further confirmation that the Land of the Giants will be returning. We've got the Broken Archstone up here. I do believe it was originally From Software's intention to have this be like a DLC, but it never eventuated, and I think one of the reasons why was because Demon's Souls didn't do incredibly well. It was critically acclaimed, however, it just didn't have a huge amount of popularity, so therefore I don't think this ever eventuated for that reason. But, yeah. What I believe is that this Archstone will be available from the beginning. Much like we have full availability, or rather full access to all of these Archstones from the beginning, I think this will be included in that, in the remake, but they might change those things around. Now, I do have a lot of things that I am concerned about in regards to the remake, the senior concern being the fact that it's a PS5 exclusive. There's no real evidence to suggest that it's going to remain a PS5 exclusive indefinitely. However, I think there's a fair chance that it will. And I'd just like to set the record straight. There is an extremely low chance that I am going to get Demon's Souls, the remake, when it comes out. Because I cannot justify a purchase of a PlayStation 5. I cannot. Absolutely cannot. Because it will be too expensive. I've invested too much money in a really good PC to play video games, so I'm not going to fucking get a PS5, which is just a completely inferior piece of junk compared to my PC now, which I got 3 years ago. Let's let that sink in for a fucking moment. And then also only play 1 game on it, because I want to play older games, not newer games. You know, like I have so many games that I want to play. Long story short, the PlayStation 5 can go and suck a fat one, which is not a phrase that I often use, but it can suck a fucking fat one. Now, Sony can probably go suck a fat one as well, because they've decided that Demon's Souls Remake needs to be a PS5 exclusive, you know. Seriously, make Elden Ring your PS5 exclusive so that I can promptly not fucking play it, or get your stupid ass console. But without getting too vitriolic, I do think there is a chance that I will end up getting a PS5 for the game. Just not immediately, because I can't justify the purchase. But anyway. The SSD in the PS5 blows your PC out of the water. Ooh. Ooh. Guess I better spend $750 Australian to get it when it comes out. What? Listen to me. If I want to get a better fucking SSD, I'll go buy one, put it in that. Relax. PS5 can eat my ass. And the same is the case for all the fucking games that want to release for it. But anyway, we don't need to, I suppose, engender further rage in the PS5 fan community, which is a term that I've decided to give them in the interest of pleasing them further. Well, not pleasing them further, pleasing them to some degree. Anyway. Oh, shut up, Michael. Shut your stupid mouth, please. We're not going to have this conversation because obviously I know that. You think I don't fucking know that? I'm not sitting here saying, I don't understand why Sony is making Demon's Souls an exclusive. It makes no sense. You know, there's none of that going on. I'm just expressing my frustration that it is the case. There is no evidence so far to suggest that it will remain an exclusive, but as I said before, I think there is a very high chance that it will remain exclusive. So therefore, I probably will, as I said, need to get the PlayStation 5 at some point. But because it's going to be a little bit too expensive, given the fact that it is a... oh dear. But yeah, given the fact that it is going to be a next generation console, or rather, you know, piece of ancient garbage console, but as far as consoles are concerned, it will be next gen, it will be quite expensive, and therefore, I would have to spend a lot of money to actually buy the thing when it does release. So therefore, hopefully by the time Demon's Souls, the remake, does release, and I'm not entirely sure when it will come out, because the Demon's Souls remake does, how do I say, it hasn't actually been confirmed. For me, I think it's going to come fairly soon, because they wouldn't have revealed it so early on in the game, as far as PlayStation 5's announcement was concerned. But I suppose because the actual Demon's Souls remake release date hasn't been confirmed, there's no real reason for us to think that it will be a launch title, because obviously if it were a launch title, they'd just say it was. But I'd say that with the whole environment with COVID-19 at the moment, there might be certain delays in place. It might have originally been their intention for it to be a launch title, but maybe some things have gotten in the way of that. So I really don't know what to expect with the arrival date of the Demon's Souls remake, but one thing that I can say for sure is that when it does come out, the PS5 is probably still going to be a little bit too expensive for me to buy. If it was something that I would use to play a lot of games, it probably would be worth the purchase. But those would all need to be exclusives, and as well as that, they would need to be games that I'd actually want to play over all the games that I already want to play in the in my game backlog that I still have yet to fully address, which is probably the largest issue at play when it comes to my rejection of new games releasing. A lot of people, when a new console comes out, they're really excited to see all the new games that come out. Me, I don't want to play any of them because I have so many other games that I want to play. So it's very much a personal issue, and I certainly don't expect other people to follow me in my opinions. The reason why I do express my opinions in this way is because, I don't know, it's worth talking about, I suppose. People will probably expect me, being a Demon's Souls player from day one, to go out and get the remake immediately. So therefore, because I won't be doing that, I do think it's worthwhile to explain why I won't be. And again, it is a very personal thing, and most people won't share my feelings with that, and that's fine, because at the end of the day, we all have different ways in which we play video games. For me, I'm not much of a video game player. Demon's Souls just happens to be one of the games that I've played a lot, and it happens to be the first game in a series that I've played a lot. I stick to certain game series, and I play those a lot. I don't branch out and play lots of different games for maybe 20 hours each, which seems to be something that's quite common in the gaming communities. But either way, I've got a giant depraved one over here, who I might No, I won't equip the other weapon I have to fight him. It's probably not necessary. Yeah, I'm doing quite a bit of damage here, and I suppose that is assisted with the fact that I'm going two-handed here. So, yeah, either way. There is no real conversation to be had as far as the Demon's Souls remake being a PS5 exclusive, because there's nothing interesting or profound to discuss in regards to that. It's obvious why they're doing it. It's probably highly likely that they will keep it an exclusive, and all of that, because of course Bloodborne stayed an exclusive, so therefore I think that would be our precedent to base the chances of Demon's Souls remake being put on a PC, for example, and I'd say the chances are very low as a result of that. Yeah, and I think someone mentioned, I think it was Milkshake, he mentioned during my previous live stream that the PS5 will be backwards compatible with the PS4, and then therefore that should encourage me to get it. But I don't even have anything on PS4 that I want to play, you know? So it's just one of those things. And I suppose I may as well kill these guys. Let's go do that. If you're still here, Michael, don't know if you are, I do apologise for saying shut your stupid mouth. I've just had a bit of a rough morning with having a broken glass delivered to me. And I found it very, very annoying to see such obvious things being said in response to what I said. I mean, yes, I realise those basic things, but I do have certain points of contention, which I did mention. Are you going to chase after me or not? Usually he is in a position for me to... oh, by the way, I didn't even show you that I do have this thing at plus 10. I made the longbow plus 10, and I ended up buying way too many Hearthstone large shards and regular shards to, excuse me, contribute to the forging of it. I'll hit you before you hit me. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right, Spaceman. I think ultimately there isn't a need for a new console. And in my opinion, that's a really big conversation to have. Like, that's a lengthy, in-depth conversation. And I do think that there would be arguments for both sides. Because I don't really care about the console space, and I haven't been part of the console space for a long time, I have absolutely no reason to start that conversation. Because I'm not informed enough to make a good argument on either side. I think the only way to make a good argument on the PC side is to have enough knowledge about the console side. And I don't really. But one thing I can say for certain is that it's not something I'm interested in buying. It's not something I'm interested in putting my money towards. So, wow. Jenny already saved up $1,000 for it. Well, there you go. Rumors are saying March 2021. Huh. It does sound about right. I mean, whether they can be substantiated or not, those particular rumors, I'd say that there's a very high chance that that's pretty much what will be happening. And there's always a possibility that some sort of delay will stand in the way of that actual release date, but either way. My course of action, or my intended course of action, as I mentioned in one of my previous parts, was that I would use the Knight Sword to go through the areas themselves, and then I would use the axe that I have, the Guillotine Axe, that's what it's called, forgot the name of it. I would use that for the bosses, but this is just the Leechmonger. Who needs extra damage for the Leechmonger? Very simple boss. But anyway. I will tell you, Michael, that Demon's Souls sold me on a PS3 as well. It really did. But I hadn't at that time invested a shitload of money into a good PC that was intended to be my main way of playing video games. Not just my main, but my... whatever is a more powerful word than main. You know, the only exceptions to that were going to be Nintendo games that were, of course, never going to see the light of day on a PC. And, you know, I don't need Sony pulling a Nintendo. I mean, to say that Sony's pulling a Nintendo is a bit silly, because it's not like them making Demon's Souls, the remake, and exclusive on PS5, is anything new by their standards, but it's still, in my view, unnecessary. Nintendo does what they do because they live in the 80s. We all know that Nintendo are really fucking... what's the word? They're the opposite of progressive, you know. They're just not... I don't like Nintendo. But there are certain games that appear on their consoles exclusively that I really do want to play, so I will buy their consoles. Particularly because they're kind of cheap. Nintendo consoles are never going to put a big hole in my wallet. But getting a next generation Sony console to play one game, not quite a small purchase. So, yeah, not really into that. So again, I was wanting a PC to be my place of playing video games for pretty much the indefinite future, but yeah. There's not much more that I really have to say, because I think it would just be further rehashing of what I've already said, but actually no, one thing that I did want to say is that I'm not looking forward to Bluepoint remaking the game in the sense that they will also have to remake the gameplay. I think the gameplay that we have here, while the animations are kind of out of date, I do think that they are very good as far as the gameplay is concerned. The feeling of playing the game, functionally speaking, and yes, I do realize that I'm just taking hits here like an idiot. I'm not really focusing on the game itself. But, oh dear. But yeah, the prospect of them remaking the gameplay, yeah, do that, that's fine. The prospect of them remaking the gameplay itself from scratch, well, not even the prospect, I mean, that's obviously what they're going to do. The very idea of it doesn't sit well with me. Oh, I absolutely hate this guy and his fucking spear. Really helps to have a shield with him. I'm using my Half Moon Grass, can you leave me alone? But yeah, I'm not going to be using a shield with this build, by the way. But I do need to get a different armor set. It'll be the binded set. But I haven't been able to get that for some reason during this playthrough. Another strange thing that occurred was the fact that Execution Meralda basically disappeared, so that was a little frustrating. You need to die, sir. Oh, stop it. I'll kill you as well. But yeah, I really love how this game feels to play. The animations are very snappy. It's one thing that I love about Demon's Souls. And if they're going to remake that, it means there's potential for it to not be as good. And I'm not really looking forward to that. I have every intention... Where the fuck did you come from, exactly? Well, thank God that there's a barrier there to stop me from falling, because that would have been my death. Let's have some late moon grass. You need to go away. I'll have you go away by ending your life. How do you feel about that? Oh, fucking hell. Why am I struggling so much with you guys today? I guess it's because I don't have a shield. I'm sure the last time I fought these guys without a shield, I had a similar experience. Although I cannot remember it. There we go. You can just run forward and cancel the pulling back of the arrow. Oh, fuck off, God! Why are you guys still alive? I swear to God, I've killed so many of you. Where are you coming from? I'm trying to relax. My Jesus. Anyway. I don't know if I would want Bethesda to remaster Morrowind. I kind of do, but there's something special about Morrowind that I feel would be lost if they remastered it. I wouldn't trust Bethesda with a remaster as far as I could throw them. Those people are a bit stupid. Or at the very least, they have the capacity to be stupid. And I'm not just talking about Fallout 76. I would have been saying that before the whole Fallout 76 fiasco. But anyway. I do plan to play Morrowind at some point on my channel, but I don't know when that will be. Eventually it will happen. I'm just going to run to the boss, and I'm actually going to equip the Guillotine Axe for the sake of varying gameplay, or varied gameplay, rather. Yes, the gameplay does vary, so you can say varying gameplay, but I was wanting to say varied. Anyway. The guys just up here I'm not going to bother with. They always bother me. so I'm not going to bother with them. If that was an entertaining sentence that I just spoke. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, I will probably be playing this that you're watching right here for months after the remake comes out. And I'm probably not going to actually look at gameplay of the remake because I don't want to be... Oh, can you stop? You're definitely not going to kill me today, guys. I hope you realise that. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm probably not going to look at any gameplay for the Demon's Souls remake because I'm worried that I will be left very frustrated and wanting to play it. You know, I'm not scared to see something I don't like, I'm scared to see something I will like. Guys, stop it. I actually saw that coming because I was meaning to roll. I can't believe I just fucking died there, that's unbelievable. But anyway, I was like right at the boss. This has actually been the sloppiest run I've done in World 5.2 in a long time. And I suppose one of the reasons why is because all the enemies... I mean, these depraved ones, they're sort of... It's better to fight them with a shield in many cases, but you don't have to fight them with a shield, it's just that I'm being a complete idiot, so that's half the problem. That's alright, we will, we'll make our way nice and swiftly to the boss and take care of it. It's fine, because in the end I do need to try and have the video go on for a little bit longer, because I have only got Archstone 5 to get through, and then I'm done with this. I'll probably end up doing World 1.1 in New Game Plus in this recording, just to have the video go for a little bit longer. That's generally what I do. But, yeah, anyway. Yeah, Morrowind's my favourite Elder Scrolls game as well. I'm not sure if I like Daggerfall more than Oblivion, because Daggerfall has problems. I think Daggerfall is the kind of game that I would appreciate more than Oblivion if I had the nostalgia, but I don't really have the nostalgia. I played it for the first time a while ago, but I think had I been old enough to play it when it came out and I had that going for me, I probably would have easily preferred Daggerfall over Oblivion, but I'm just not sure. They are very different games, and there are certain things about both of them that I prefer. Oh, get on the fucking thing! My god. Okay, now we have to deal with these fuckheads. I've only got 13 arrows. I'm guessing I'm being followed? No. Thief's Ring worked in my favour there. Let's kill these guys. They're gonna get in my way for sure. Oh, fuck. Fun weapons that I would recommend would be the Uchigatana. That can be acquired in World 4.1. You can get that pretty much immediately if you're willing to roll past the skeletons. For me, in the first hour or two in Demon's Souls, I have to tell you, there isn't that much content in Demon's Souls. There will probably be a little bit more content because they'll add the Land of the Giants in the base game of, whatever it's called, the remake. No, I meant to say, yeah, Land of the Giants in the remake. I'm losing track of what I'm saying because I have to deal with these guys. I'm being unreasonably intimidated by them. I just really need to make sure I succeed this time. Alright, let's have a Royal Lotus. Because of course our grasp becomes less efficacious when we are inflicted with poison. Or afflicted with poison, I should say. Now, oh, Ethan has something to say. This is this is my friend Ethan. What do you want, Ethan? He knows what I'm doing here. He knows I'm going to do this. Thanks, Ethan. Thanks. You know, he unironically sent me a message. I originally bought a PS4 just for Monster Hunter World, but the PS4 was way cheaper at that time. This was in 2018. And I sold both World and the PS4 when I realized it was coming to PC. I thought there was a good chance it would come to PC, but it hadn't been confirmed, and then once it was confirmed, and then Generations Ultimate was confirmed for release, I went and sold the PS4. And by that time I had already stopped playing World frequently. And then maybe a month after I had sold the PS4, and Ethan knew that I had sold the PS4, He sent me a message while I was recording Demon Souls, and he's like, "Why are you online, Doomlink? I thought you sold your PS4. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on PS3. Anyway, that was a funny moment. People who think Skyrim is better than Oblivion and Morrowind have probably only played modded Skyrim, and I would say modded Skyrim definitely has the potential to be better, but it's you don't get to say that a game's better purely on the basis of its modding potential. You just don't get to say that, because it's not really a credit to Bethesda. If anything, Bethesda has done everything in their power to make it harder for people to mod the game. Well, not everything in their power. They can definitely do more to make it harder for people to mod the game, but can you stop, you fucking asshole? Gonna heal here. Yes, I know, you're just so frustrating, aren't you? He's trying to get my attention, also to hate him. Wow, that was a really well positioned poison cloud. Royal Lotus. Now, I will not heal myself for this boss fight. In other words, use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, because it's not going to be necessary. So yeah. Let's go and kill this guy nice and quickly. You can see that he's also getting flinched very easily from our attacks, so... Just gonna do that. Dirty Colossus is definitely a boss that needs a remaster now that I look at it. As I said, this is the first post-remaster recording, in the sense that I won't be looking at it in the same way. And yeah, the Dirty Colossus doesn't look great. I didn't really think the Dirty Colossus looked great when the game first came out. But now I especially feel that way. Okay. Also, the number of souls that I have, by the way, is 107,000. So, that's the eroded demon soul. Let's go burn ourselves. And we'll go and kill Garl Vinland right now, because he's always an easy person to kill. Yes, Skyrim was definitely the meme Elder Scrolls, but I suppose that was just the way the internet had progressed by that time, so... Yeah, the Skyrim, basically, it's not an RPG, it's an action game with RPG elements. And that's pretty much what Elder Scrolls is destined to become. It is just progressively moving away from its RPG roots. Even Morrowind was beginning to move away from it, but Oblivion was the first game where they really started to depart, and then Skyrim was almost not even an RPG at all. So, no, I will not turn back, Maiden Australia. Chain stab? No. Then one more of those should kill him. Of course, the key is not to let him run away. Sometimes he tries to run away. Oh, you dickhead. He managed to hit me, but I also managed to, actually, he might have bounced off the wall. Oh, you asshole. No, you're not doing this. Ah, he's trying to parry me. But the reason why he was backing away there was so that he could perform a healing miracle. Asshole. I really should be playing more Elder Scrolls, but I just don't. What is going on with you? Anyway. Easiest way to kill Maiden Australia is just talk to her. Kills herself. But yeah, I would like this recording to be longer, it's just I don't have as much to do here. So, that's one problem. It's always a problem, you know. So, I guess I can never... caught the plague? No. I guess I can never organize my recordings, or rather what I do in my recordings, to have it be so that the last recording that I do for a build in New Game has enough content to last about 2 hours. So... Go. Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online's pretty disappointing. Pretty disappointing. Not just from a lore perspective, but from a gameplay perspective. Just the whole thing is... It's lazy, that's what it is ultimately. It's a lazy game. And people buy into it. I bought into it. I have Elder Scrolls Online, but I don't think... I put about 70 hours into it, I think. Maybe I... No, I don't have Steam open, so I can't check, but I think I might have even broken 90 hours, which is scary. That's a scary thought. But, Yeah, it's just such a... It's not satisfying. It's not a rewarding game to play at all. I don't know why I decided to drink this by, instead of tilting the glass back, I tilted my head forward into the glass like a fucking pig. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. Let's go and put this Marrow Stone and Faint Stone away. We're not going to need that. 200 hours in Elder Scrolls Online. I'm sorry to hear that. But it is very easy to spend that much time in Elder Scrolls Online. It's an easy game to just sit down and play. But it does leave you... It doesn't leave you with much in the end. It really doesn't leave you with much. You don't feel like you've really achieved anything in that game. It's very... it feels a bit hollow. That's just my opinion on it. And honestly, I don't have too much experience with MMOs in general, so... You know, I'm sure that I don't have what you would call an informed opinion about it, but... Yeah. From what I've played, I'm not that into it. Talisman of God. No, and we'll keep it in our inventory, but... we are at 181,000 souls. We will be getting some more as we consume all of these here. And, before we do that, however, I will go and just make sure, again, that we cannot kill Executioner Marauder here. We should be able to do it when we go into New Game Plus at the very least. I would rather not fight a New Game Plus Executioner Marauder to get her armor set, but that's alright. I will do what needs to be done. But yeah, really pissed off about that, the Polana glass that I got delivered to me this morning. In pieces, because the dickhead decided to package it poorly and not actually display the fact that it was glass and that it should be handled with care. What an asshole. Anyway, let's go and see what's happening with Executioner Marauder. I'm guessing she's nowhere to be found. What happened was, I killed her Black Phantom form, but I didn't kill her real form. Now, I thought that she would still... Oh, I mean, I don't really need to kill this Crystal Lizard anyway. But I managed it. 6 shards of Heartstone. But yeah, I'd have more souls than I have right now if I didn't buy so much Heartstone from the Filthy Man in World 2-2. But I went ahead and did that. Oh, by the way, Michael, I don't know if there's anything else that I can recommend as far as interesting weapons to get in the early game. It does depend on the build. Maybe the Dozer Axe could be interesting because I think they will make the Dozer Axe better in the remake. There are certain weapons that do need to be rebalanced, like the Dozer Axe. Interesting weapon design. It's the Vanguard's axe, by the way. But God, does it suck. There are just certain weapons that need to be rebalanced for sure. And adding extra weapons would be great. I'm sure there are plenty of weapons that were intended to be in the game that were cut, so I would definitely like that. Ugh. Itchy eye. So yeah, we have established that Executioner Marauder is not present, so I suppose after having killed her Black Phantom form, she has decided to not appear here in Pure White, so that's a little frustrating, but she should most definitely appear in... That's a good point. I can't level up with my souls right now because we're going to the old one now. Okay. But yeah, I lost track of what I was saying before, but... yeah, I think we are good to go. We will now... Actually, I don't need my Ring of Herculean Strength here. Although, maybe I can go and get the Ring of Avarice now. Let's go do that. I'm just going to buy the thing. I know you can pick it up from somewhere, but for some reason I'm forgetting where. Where is it? I don't know. Let's just buy the thing. I've got a lot of souls. No, it wasn't. The Morian Blade is in Demon Souls, the Storm Ruler is in Demon Souls, but not the Fume Ultra Greatsword. Ugh. But yeah, I think the fact that Demon Souls Remake has been announced is going to impact the number of people who are watching Demon Souls content at the moment. It will influence it. More people will be interested in the game, so I suppose to respond to that, I will be recording more Demon Souls content, but also I suppose I am interested in playing more Demon Souls just so that I can have a larger catalogue of recordings of the game to look back on once the remake is something that I play. I'm excited to play the remake, but I am not completely convinced that it will be better than the original, because too many things are being remade from scratch, which therefore means there is too much potential ultimately for it to fuck up, in my view. I'm serious when I say in my view, because my view is kind of unique. I have unique opinions that are generally not shared by people. Anyway, God, I didn't remember it being that fucking expensive, but anyway, I'm sure it would be much better to just pick it up wherever it's found in the world, but for some reason, again, I don't remember where it is found. Get your fresh spice. Huh. PvP, or invasions in general, were at their best in Demon Souls. Now, whether or not that is done properly in the remake, I can't say for sure. But just the mere fact that weapons like the scraping spear and the plague, all those sorts of things, the fact that they exist in this game is going to really work in favour of the remake. Or work in the favour of the remake. We are almost out of Trapis Rochefort 8, and then we will move on to the better one soon. I can handle this one. This one's okay, but I almost want to just get number 10 anyway, because it's only a difference of like $2, so. May as well just get the better one. Also, I still don't even know now why I called myself Slippery here. It was just something that came to mind, so I decided that I would name myself that. But it's kind of bizarre, isn't it? Now, what was I going to do? Oh yeah. I think now that we have the Ring of Avarice, we can just continue. And by continue, I mean end the game, basically, and move on to New Game Plus. Unless I wanted to get some colourless Demon Souls. I don't believe that there's a boss soul weapon that I really want to make. Well, not boss soul weapons, sorry. I do believe boss soul weapons can't be upgraded. Could be wrong about that, though. No, some can, I think, but either way, unique weapons are generally what consumes colourless Demon Souls. Maybe some boss soul weapons do as well. It's just I'm drawing blanks at the moment. Mage spam has ruined it for you in Dark Souls 2. Demon Souls has always had a very strong PvP community. It was the PvP community that allowed Demon Souls to remain, or rather, it allowed the servers to remain up for as long as they did remain up. I don't think they were actually closed until late 2018, which is impressive considering so few people played it. But it had a very passionate community of people who generally did PvP matches in World 4.1. Many years ago. I think this was in... No. Oh. Anyway. Many years ago, I think it was late 2010, early 2011, I was in a Skype group where we would do that sort of thing. We would just PvP each other in duels all day in World 4.1. And that was in the US version, though. The Atlas version. The European version was dead by then. Completely dead. Alright. Thank you. You regained Lost Soul. So with that in mind, let's go and head down. I don't even know what I was doing. What was I doing? I was considering whether or not I wanted colourless Demon Souls, but I don't think I do. Let's just move on. I can regret it at a later date or something. So, the old one, I mean, by the way, this is Ash Lake, obviously. I may as well just show these sorts of things off, because maybe there are people watching Demon Souls videos from me now that they didn't watch before, in light of the recent announcement, but yeah. Let's go and talk to the old one. Could talk to you, but I don't want to. This is the final boss. Very easy final boss. It is the true King Allant, as opposed to the false king who we fought as the boss of World 1, or the final boss of World 1 more specifically. Got a fog gate. And of course the correct thing to do here after killing the boss is to kill the Maiden in Black. That way you get the best soul. If you don't kill the Maiden in Black, you'll get the Maiden in Black Demon Soul, which kind of, or just the Maiden in Black Soul. I don't know if it's called the Maiden in Black Demon Soul, but either way, if you don't kill her, you will get her soul, which sort of, it's counterintuitive. It's the reverse of what you would expect. But if you kill her, you get the Beast Demon Soul. Now, between the Beast Demon Soul and the Maiden in Black Demon Soul, the Beast Demon Soul gives you more souls. Neither of those souls can be used for anything other than consuming them for loose souls, or, you know, the currency version of souls, basically. Yeah, streaming today as well, Pablo. Plan is to stream a little bit more this week. I'm in the mood. Things can always get in the way of my plans, but anyway. Why do I bother with that kind of shit? Yeah, let's drink the tiny little bit of froth in the bottom of the glass. That's called being desperate.
The Nexus shall imprison thee no longer.
Yeah, go do your cutscene. I will take this opportunity to pour my second one, which is the superior one, as I've mentioned countless times in this recording.
I shall lull the old one back to slumber.
Alrighty. Actually, whoops, sorry. Ringing the bell. We're gonna go through the credits while I do that. Oh, come on. Excuse me. Yeah, I love how Jenny Jones is like, Maiden in Black with a heart eyes face, and then I go and kill her. Sorry. May as well hold it up.
The Old One sensed a new and powerful demon by its side. And before long, the world will be engulfed by the deep fog. Bring more souls.
Yeah, exactly. Bring more souls. Yes, your poor maiden is now dead. And I do love this ending here, all these credits. I love the song. It's really nostalgic for me. Because I remember when I first reached this, it was a big achievement for me, because I really did have trouble getting through Demon Souls when I first played it. And so this really felt like I'd finally achieved something, you know. It was a hard game to play at that time in my gaming career, if we want to call it that. Now, as you can see, we have the Beast Demon Soul, which is the better Demon Soul to get. We also have the Red Eye Stone, and that is essentially the Red Sign Soapstone, but the Demon Soul's equivalent. It was thanks to this game that when Dark Souls came out, I couldn't really relate to everyone's difficulties with it. Because a lot of people who played Dark Souls hadn't played Demon Souls, because, keeping in mind, in 2009, the PlayStation 3 was not the most popular console. It was the Xbox 360. Most people played the Xbox 360. I was going to get a PS3 over an Xbox 360 anyway, because even at that time, I was more interested in playing Japanese games, and there were a lot more Japanese games on the PlayStation 3 as opposed to the Xbox 360. But, yeah, there's a long story as to why I even got a PS3 in the first place, but Demon Souls was one of the main reasons, and also you had Ad Hoc Party for Monster Hunter, and I was also expecting Portable Third to get a PS3 version. It did get a PS3 version. Actually, it wasn't just Portable Third. I was expecting there to be a Monster Hunter on PlayStation 3. There were rumors that that was going to happen back then, and it didn't eventuate. But it did happen on PS4. So, you know what? I bet it was their intention to do that, even from back then. But it didn't happen until the PS4. So, there you go. I guess the 360 was popular because of Call of Duty, yeah. But, it's not like Call of Duty wasn't on the PlayStation 3. But I suppose it was that sort of community, those people. It was very American. And Americans were real into the Microsoft shit, so... It's popular that it was, or it was possible that it was popular because of Halo 3, but I don't really know. Are you being fancy or pouring the beer like that because it improves the taste or something? Pinky out is probably just a habit of mine. I'm pouring the beer in the way that I am, not to be fancy. It's, you need to pour... Anything with a lot of froth on it needs to be poured at an angle to prevent the froth from being too pronounced. And if the froth is too pronounced, what happens is it sort of... Obviously, I mean, I don't need to explain this, but it's too high off the glass, and then it starts to pour down the rim, and it makes a mess, and as you were able to see when I poured it, it was perfectly flush with the top of the glass. So that's the ideal way to pour it for that reason. Most commonly you'll see that with... if you pour sparkling wine, for example, it's very important to pour it at an angle because it does prevent the froth from just being too much. You want to drink liquid, not fucking froth, so yeah. I have not played all of the From Software games that came after Demon's Souls. I haven't played Sekiro, and the reason why I haven't played Sekiro is because I played Bloodborne for 15 hours straight around the time it came out at a friend's house. And it was such a fucking awful experience that I thought, nah, I need to just not touch From Software RPGs after this. I will eventually play Sekiro, but I won't touch Bloodborne again. Keeping in mind, I won't go deeply into this because I've mentioned it many times before, but when I played Bloodborne, I was expecting a Souls game. It wasn't a Souls game. I hated the fact that the combat promoted more of a hack and slash, hit the enemy before they could hit you sort of thing. I hated the fact that there was no shield mechanic. I instead had to shoot some fucking gun. I hated it. And it felt like as I was progressing through the world, everything looked the same. The loading screens upon death were so slow when the game first came out. And it was just overall that 15 hours that I spent playing Bloodborne was agony. And not because it was crushingly difficult or anything, but because it didn't feel right. Everything just felt like a fight in the wrong way. And I was just so fatigued after Dark Souls 2 that it just... Because I really didn't like Dark Souls 2. By the time I was playing that Bloodborne at that time, I had already stopped playing Demon's Souls. Not Demon's Souls. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm reading the chat at the same time as I'm talking. But yeah, I had already stopped playing Dark Souls 2 by the time I had played Bloodborne for the first time. And yeah, I wasn't feeling great about the series by then. I was not feeling great at all. That's why I didn't play Dark Souls 3 for a long time. And then I finally picked it up, I suppose it would have been around March of 2018, and I really liked it, and I was shocked to see so many things from Demon's Souls had been brought back, and I was so happy that Dark Souls 3 was actually good. That's such a long conversation to get onto, I won't get into it now, but... yeah. We are now in New Game Plus. We do not have access to leveling up because the main in black needs to... Well, we need to speak to the Monumental first. Then the main in black will allow us to seek soul power, that's what it's called. You don't really like the gun combat? Not that many people are into the gun combat, no. I mean, they don't dislike it, but they don't particularly like it either. They must see past it, I don't know. I don't fucking like it. But yeah, I don't think I will ever touch Bloodborne again, on principle. Can't do it. But I think I will play Sekiro eventually. Let's go to World 1-1. I probably should have bought some grass before I moved into New Game Plus, but that's fine. Well, when I first saw Bloodborne as Project whatever it was called at that time, this was around the time Dark Souls 2, excuse me, was about to come out, or shortly after it had come out. Bloodborne was being shown in sort of a demo form, and it really excited me because it reminded me a lot of Demon's Souls visually, because it was very dark, and it was very smooth as well. Demon's Souls was a very smooth game visually, and then Dark Souls came out and it was a very gritty art style, very visual style, very gritty visual style, and I was excited to see a game that was really returning to the atmospheric Demon's Souls look. So I had set up all these expectations, and then I played it and I was deeply disappointed. That was a very cool way to kill that Dregling, I have to say. But yeah, it was not good at all. It was not a good experience. One of the most negative experiences I have ever had playing a game. So, Project Beast, that's right. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. And I don't go around saying everyone needs to agree with me when it comes to Bloodborne, but that's definitely how I feel, and I feel very strongly about it. So, I'm not going to apologize for my opinion to anyone, but yeah. I actually have not had a game that has caused such offense to people that I've discussed with about it, or discussed it with, than Bloodborne. Bloodborne has been the game that has just caused so many mindless arguments that are very, very... what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, get your brain in gear, Doomling, for the love of God. Visceral, very visceral arguments that are like, Bloodborne's my favourite game, there's nothing wrong with it. Shut up. That sort of thing, you know. See, this is the thing, Bloodborne, because it was a deviation, really, couldn't be a game that I enjoyed, because I was too busy wanting to play a Souls game. And I think, this is my theory. Because Dark Souls 2 had disappointed me so much, I needed a new Souls game more than anything at that moment. I needed a game that was going to make up for what Dark Souls 2 lacked. I already felt that within the Souls formula, Dark Souls 2 had been a deviation, because combat went from feeling really nice to feeling really slow and sluggish and completely unrewarding. And then I played Bloodborne expecting to be fulfilled, finally, after that disappointment, and it wasn't even a fucking Souls game. So I was sitting there the whole time, seething, wanting to play a Souls game, and it wasn't a Souls game. So I was basically destined, no matter what, to hate it. And there were certain things like those, like the fact that I didn't feel like I was progressing through the world because everything looked the same, and then those super long loading screens when the game came out. Those only served to further exacerbate the issue, and it was not good at all. Do not want to let that guy flail and hit me repeatedly, because that's going to kill me, most certainly. Didn't know there was a DLC that let you become a werewolf, that's kind of interesting. But yeah. I have to tell you, absolutely never going to play Bloodborne again, on principle. It would be an insult to my past self to ever play it again. Now, some would counteract with the following argument. You would be doing yourself a disservice to not play it again to confirm a very old opinion that you have. And it is an old opinion by now. That was 5 years ago when I played that game. And even with that in mind, I just don't think I can do it. Maybe I will do it eventually. Maybe I will. But it will not be in the next 5 years. It might be in the next 10. If it will ever happen, it'll probably be in the next 15. And that's probably rather strange to hear me say that, but Demon's Souls is 11 years old, so with that taken into consideration, I really don't think that it's far-fetched to theorize about 15 years in the future, because these 10 years have gone by very quickly for me. Hello. you're gonna die, I think. Or maybe I'm gonna die, we'll see. I'm only killing this guy for fun, I don't need to kill him. But because we're... Uh-oh. Look at that. Now, I was spam rolling the whole time, but he was catching me at the perfect moments there to actually flinch me. That was just really bad luck. Now, the problem with that is that I have 160,000 souls, so I need to go and get those back. Yeah, I'm sure the monster designs are pretty good. I think the only thing that Bloodborne had going for it, in my estimation at the very least, oh, go away, would be the thing that I really was excited about it for, the atmospheric aspect. It was a very atmospheric game, and yet it's locked to a fucking console, you know. I'd much rather experience that on a PC in much better graphics. You basically tried to burn yourself to death, sir. The temptation to run to the place where I died is very strong, but if I fuck that up, I will be punished much more severely because we're in New Game Plus, so, yeah. I might actually switch to the Night Sword, which does a little bit less damage. Got the Soul Brand as well. But I just feel like using a different weapon here. Oh yeah, I did mean to... Oh, now that I think about it, I just died. I actually completely forgot that I needed to not die while alive in this area because I really do need to be at pure white. Let's, with that in mind... Oh, what's going on with the world tendency here? Okay, I guess that means that we can't access Execution Moralda until such time that we kill the Phalanx, which is fine. But, here's hoping we haven't fucked things up for ourselves by dying here. I don't think we have, but we certainly will have fucked things up for ourselves if we die again, or even once more after that. Yeah, I was into PvP in these games. I did a lot of PvP in Demon Souls. I certainly did more PvP in Demon Souls than I did in Dark Souls 2. But my main PvP game was Dark Souls. And Dark Souls really weighed on me. I played way too much PvP in that game. Between 2011 and 2013, I had played so much Dark Souls that I was basically living and breathing it, and I couldn't handle it anymore, and little things like getting ganked in the forest were just too much for me at that point, emotionally. Like, I was skilled enough by far to handle a group of even 4 people coming after me. Not that that ever happened from memory, it was only a maximum of 3 people coming after you at one time, but, you know, just the idea that there were people who would be alive and summon people in the forest to help them kill people that invaded them in a 3v1 confrontation was weighing on me to the extent where it wasn't healthy anymore. It was really frustrating for me, so I just had to stop. I was playing too much Dark Souls, and when you get into PvP in a Souls game, you end up playing the game so much because every single time you want to make a new build, that's you playing a game from start to finish. Rather deeply, because, you know, you probably want to get a lot of weapons and shields and things of that nature, armor as well. And so you end up playing the game many, many times. Each time you want to make a new build, that's what you're doing. And that's what I did in Dark Souls. I played that. That's 160,000 souls gone. And I do not have an explanation for you as to why I fucking rolled off the edge. I don't know why I did that. I don't know, I innocently pressed the circle button on my controller and off the edge he goes. Holy God. That's 2 deaths while alive in a world that I need to be at pure white tendency for. And as well as that, I lost fucking 160,000 souls. Suck my fucking cock, game. I love you, Demon Souls, I love you to death, but sometimes you make me sad. You really do. Oh my God. Anyway, time to run. I'm not even equipping the Cling Ring. You guys can die. Well, not actually die. Not literally die, because I guess I won't be killing you, but certainly I'm annoyed now. We're going into get through the level mode now. speedrun mode, not really. I've never... Well, I have done speedruns of Demon Souls in the past, but I don't really remember my Demons... Or rather, my Demon Souls speedrun strats at this point. But, God, I'm annoyed. Yeah, a part of my body wanted to rage quit for sure. There are 2 comments above what you just said, but I'll need a moment to read those as we continue. I'll get that moment shortly. Okay, I'll do a parry on this guy. If I miss it, I will die. That's alright. At least it wasn't 2 million, yeah, I guess. That's like saying, well, I've got cancer, but at least I didn't have all my limbs cut off. That sort of thing, you know. Anyway. These guys can continue to live. Do I want to rescue Ostrava? Because, I mean, that was what that was. Do I really not want to rescue him? I guess I don't. Yeah, get out of my face. We are rushing to the fucking boss because Doomlink is upset. No. No. Don't you flail in my face, sir. Not allowing that. Ugh. Excited to be able to invade again in Demon Souls Remake. Yeah. I don't know how much Demon Souls Remake is going to feel like Demon Souls. It's going to look like it, but will it feel like it? I would say probably not. Wow, I actually didn't get one shot there. Thank fucking Christ for that. Otherwise that would have been a real cause for frustration. Oh, really? You could see that the parry sound was made, but I didn't have quite the right... 2 ends of the spectrum there. Slightly too early and slightly too late. Dickhead. It's little moments like the parry where you see how the animations for Demon Souls are a little bit outdated. But again, when you play the game, it feels good. That's what's important. How it might look has a certain degree of importance, but how it feels to play... No! You guys are still alive. I'm glad I saw that when I did, because that would have been dangerous otherwise. Come on, move. Alright, I'll pick up your Crescent Moon. Oh, Soldier's Lotus. That works too. Do you remember how far you made it in Bloodborne? I got to the point where I had the guy shooting me with that big machine gun from a tower. I distinctly remember being at that point. I know I talked to a person, apparently I don't have to kill him, but I was there sort of with the tower in the distance and the guy shooting me, and I said to myself, I really want to kill him. No matter what, I want to kill him. But then I sat there and I thought, is it even worth it? Is it even worth it to play this game? And then I was like, no, I'm done. Because I felt like if I had to question whether or not it was even worth continuing to play the game, then it was probably time to stop. So, yeah. But no, I didn't have to kill him. But I don't even know where my point of progression was based on my memories. I mean, my memories are kind of not super clear, but it was looking back on it, I guess there were a few directions for me to go in. Can you not throw a firebomb in my face when I'm trying to be sneaky and evasive? I don't know if the dragon's coming or not. I'd rather not have to kill you guys manually, but it might be necessary. What's going on? Have you decided to take a rest today? Yeah, he's not coming. Don't know why. I'll stop it. No, you and your sword. Keeping in mind we are still one-shotting these guys because we are at endgame, new game sort of damage. No, that might have killed me. But I think, like anything, I think it's a new game thing, or rather new game plus thing in general in the Souls series, but particularly in Demon Souls. It's all about how much more they can hit you for, not so much how much more they can resist your damage or your attack value. Oh, let's kill them both. Okay, I was hoping for the hitbox to catch the other guy too. Can't wait to have firebombs thrown at my face in the remake. If that's what you're excited for, then I question the things that you value in life. Anyway, Old Yarnum. Invading in 3-2. Yeah, 3-2 is very interesting. What would have been my favourite invasion ground? 3-2 was super fun. Super fun. I enjoyed invading in the old monk boss. I always really enjoyed that. They brought that concept back in Dark Souls 3 with the, forgot the name of the boss now, but the sort of, you're in this cathedral room and it's part of the DLC, I believe. The Ringed City DLC, the final boss of the Ringed City DLC, where you actually have players summoned and they're sort of the boss effectively. It was a little bit different in the old monk boss fight because it was just you and the guy, and if you killed the guy, you killed the boss. And in that way, it was a little different. It was treated in Dark Souls 3 in that particular fight as a summoning scenario where it felt as if there were other things to fight. In fact, it didn't just feel that way. There were other things to fight in the boss room at that time. But with the old monk fight in this game, it was just you and the old monk. That's it. And if the old monk had been replaced with an enemy player, that's just what you had to deal with. So it felt like a duel. It was a duel, actually. It didn't just feel like one. Did I really miss you there? Come on. I'm really annoyed that I lost those souls, but I can make them back, I guess. I've got the Ring of Avarice. Let us not forget. Oh, the second to last boss in the DLC. Everyone expected Bloodborne 2, but this is better. Well, what's Elden Ring? Is Elden Ring Bloodborne 2? Like, is Elden Ring just the working title of the game? And I think calling it Bloodborne 2 would be really bad. There's something about the word Bloodborne. It doesn't feel like it works well with a 2 after it. I don't really like having a 2 or a 3 or a 4 written after a game title anyway. Slave Knight Gale was basically the Penetrator, Artorias. Who was the Dark Souls 2 equivalent? Anyway, Slave Knight Gale was basically the he was the Artorias of Dark Souls 3. You know, you had him throw that corpse at you off his blade in true Penetrator / Artorias style. Maybe there was a boss in the DLC of Dark Souls 2 that was an equivalent, but for me, I didn't really play much of the Dark Souls 2 DLC, and I do intend to play more of it at some point. No news yet on Elden Ring. Oh. Ah. Okay. Well, Elden Ring is the next Souls series then, I suppose. Okay. What's it going to be? The Ring series? Or the Elden series? No, stop! Don't kill me! I swear to God I was spamming my circle. But that's okay, we can die here, that is allowed. We were in soul form, and we had already unlocked the boss room. We are okay. Dark Souls 2 DLC is better than the base game. I've played a little bit of it. I think, what was it called? Broom Tower, something like that. I went through that, but not fully. And that's all I've done for the Dark Souls 2 DLC, I think. But ultimately, I don't have a problem with Dark Souls 2 as far as the areas were concerned. There were more fundamental issues that I had identified when it came to Dark Souls 2 that were bothering me. Particularly the combat scenario. All the enemies that you fought would run around like insects. You'd try to put some distance between yourself and the enemy, and they'd do these little tiny steps towards you. And they'd be so fucking fast, and you're like, what's going on? What's with the insect run? And what Dark Souls 2 was artificial difficulty. That's what that game felt like to me. It felt like they were trying to make a harder version of Dark Souls, but they didn't know how to do it. All they did was they thought of every single variable that made Dark Souls difficult and then turned it to max. Now, the result of that was, yeah, a generally difficult game, but it wasn't creatively difficult. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't fulfilling. It just felt like shit. The whole thing felt like shit. Fall damage was super crazy all of a sudden. Enemies would chase you like nothing else. Drinking an Estus flask, instead of just being like, you know, drink it, it was like, Like the guy's fucking physically disabled and can't drink fast enough. Like, what are you doing? Who drinks an Estus flask in combat? Like, just drink the fucking thing, idiot. You know, like, every single aspect of Dark Souls 2 was designed to make it hard in a very uncreative way. And I think ultimately the biggest problem with Dark Souls 2 was the fact that it didn't feel like a Souls game. It felt like a Souls game, but it felt like a Souls game that had been made by someone who didn't get what made Souls special. It was made by someone who had no fucking clue as to what made the game special. It was like a 5-year-old had been tasked with making a Souls game that was harder than all the others, but then the kid didn't really realize what made Souls special, and so their only focus was to make it harder. And that's what it felt like to me. Now, can I infuse the Knight Sword with Turpentine? Let's have a look. The Phalanx is a little bit annoying in New Game Plus. Not a fan. Oh, come on. I'm walking into a wall now, I think. One great thing about the menu is the amount of visibility you still have while in the menu. Okay, Turpentine, can we apply that? I think we can. Yes, we can. That's what I like to see. I'm not going to use Black Turpentine because I think that's a little bit overkill. I'll read what you guys have to say. Or the Ivory King. I still haven't fought him, really. Really, I say. Not at all. In actual fact. The frog boss is not great. What was he called again? I'll remember it, don't tell me. It was the... No, not the Covetous Demon. That was the Fat Slug that they nicknamed Jabba the Hutt. I know he was the boss of the... that stupid place that I've now forgotten the name of. Why am I drawing blanks on Dark Souls 2? Oh, I know why. It's because that game sucks, and I've obviously removed it from my memory to save myself the trouble of remembering something unimportant. But the area where the mages cast their homing magic on you, and there was the frog boss for that. Now, the problem with that area was that I played it back when Dark Souls 2 first came out, and that was so bad. You guys, I mean, you guys can probably accept the fact that that particular area is a little difficult to deal with because of all that homing magic. But in the original patch of Dark Souls 2, that homing magic was almost entirely impossible to avoid. It would home in on you in a way that just nothing else could possibly in any other video game. It was ridiculous. And it was just a miserable, miserable, miserable fucking experience. Whoever designed that level needs a smack in the back of the head. It was so bad. Demon of Song, yes. Shrine of Amana, Demon of Song. Shrine of Amana, originally, in the original patch, was just complete dick. Now, one thing that I want to mention also is that I don't understand why they made the second version of Dark Souls 2, where it felt like I was playing a Dark Souls 2 randomizer for the enemies. All the enemies had just been randomly repositioned. Everything felt like it was right in the original version of Dark Souls 2. Then I played the second version, and I'm sitting here going, why have the enemies been rearranged in this way? It doesn't feel like it's any more intuitive. It doesn't feel like it's... It actually felt like an enemy randomizer. And I didn't understand why that was necessary. It was really weird. Even to this day, I don't understand why they did that. It was completely bizarre. I was going to fix my chroma key briefly. Just need to increase the sensitivity of it.
Welcome back.
There we go.
Welcome back.
I will be seeking soul power with her very soon. Scholar of the First Sin, that's right. Scholar of ways to ruin a game, more like. They were all scholars of how to ruin a game. And they did a very fucking good job of it. But again, I honestly believed that Dark Souls 2 was the death of the series when I played it. But it wasn't. Dark Souls 3 redeemed it. And I was very pleased. I'm not going to play this. Sorry.
Now, have you...
Yes, it is my turn. I will accept the mission, because that's tantamount to accepting the rest of the video game that I'm playing right now. No, I don't want to continue playing the game. I'll stop here. I've had enough. Too hard. I've lost 160,000 souls. Scholar of Cash Grab, that as well. The first sin was making Dark Souls 2. Exactly right. That is on point and exactly right. Alright, I'll put away this hardstone and sharpstone. Shut up. Stockpile Thomas is my favourite NPC. He's just such a kind-hearted guy, and you really feel for him when he loses his daughter and you give him her jade hair ornament. Like, it's really interesting. My favourite NPC is here, and my least favourite is here. Baldwin is such a fucking dickhead. You know, I don't even need to give you my services. I don't need to do that. But I do it because I can. And you want to give me shit attitude about it all the time, dickhead. Second favourite, of course, is Saint Urbain Umbasa. Oh dear. So yes, we can now seek soul power. Shut up. Well, don't actually shut up. Ask me if I want to seek soul power so I can say yes. But before we do that, of course, we do need to consume all of these souls. We do have a lot of these, but let's not forget that we could have, whatever we end up with in terms of souls here, let us not forget that we could have had an additional 160,000 on top of whatever that number ends up being, so, yeah. Or maybe let's try to forget that so that we don't get all depressed. Well, I'll be getting depressed at the very least. You guys certainly won't be getting depressed. You guys probably think it's funny that I lost 160,000 souls. Well, I'll have you know that I'm concerned. False King Demon Soul. This is the Dirty Colossus Demon Soul. This is the Leechmonger. This is Maiden Estrella. Because I'm nice, I'll show you my soul count. Beast Demon Soul. This is going to be 200,000 souls in addition to what we already have. What? I don't remember people saying that. People thought Bloodborne was a sequel to Demon Souls because one of the bosses said Umbasa in the trailer. That's hilarious. I don't remember that at all. I thought it was going to be a spiritual successor to Demon Souls because of how it looked visually. I didn't know a boss had said Umbasa. That's hilarious. Oh my god. The worst thing about Dark Souls 2 was soul memory. Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like that system at all. I believe it was in the beta of Bloodborne, where Gascoigne, I don't know his name, I'm guessing it's Gascoigne, said Umbasa. That's hilarious. That's really funny. The Project Beast demo. I watched a bit of the demo, I didn't watch all of it. I don't remember seeing a boss fight in that demo. But maybe it hadn't been fully released when I saw it. I just remember watching it on my laptop and going, oh, like I was basically creaming in my pants at the prospect of a Demon Souls-esque Souls game. Because when they said Project Beast, I mean, I wasn't expecting something that would be so far removed from the Souls series, but yeah. Again, if you're someone like me who wants to play a Souls game, you are doomed to see fault with Bloodborne in the end. There's not really much you can do about it. But whenever I do tell people that I don't like Bloodborne, it's like, it's pretty much as if I'm fighting a war, and it's like it's me versus an army sort of thing. Just the level of bombardment. But anyway. Gascoigne? Gascoigne. I don't know. I read it as Gascoigne, but I'm sure if I were more in tune with Bloodborne and its community, I would know how to pronounce it, but if Gascoigne is incorrect, then yeah. There are still people trying to connect all FromSoft games into one universe. Well, I think that's really silly, because ultimately as far as the writers are concerned, I think it would make a lot more sense for the writers to only have games be in the same universe if they have similar names. Like, Demon Souls is obviously related to the Dark Souls series. And I can't remember if Demon Souls was supposed to be... I think Dark Souls 2 was supposed to be before Demon Souls. I think the order in which it took place was Dark Souls 2, then Demon Souls, but... And then Dark Souls, then Dark Souls 3, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been thinking about that recently, so I'm probably way off target with that. Anyway, let's move ourselves up, or rather down, from where we are, because I think you guys have seen my soul counter enough at this point. And I will indeed seek soul power. We will get strength to 45 to start with. Notice how I have to commit to every single individual point that I level up here. That is a major problem with Demon Souls, in my opinion. That's something that does need to be improved upon in the remake, and they will of course do that. Like, that's unacceptable. It wasn't even that acceptable when we were playing this game when it first came out, but it is particularly unacceptable after all the Souls games, and I guess From Software games in general that have released since Demon Souls. It's not okay to have to commit to individual upgrades in that way, so they will definitely change that. Alrighty. Do we want to continue with strength, or shall we... We don't need to increase dexterity beyond 12. Magic will stay at 12. That is our base level with magic because of whatever class we chose here. I don't know what it was that we chose. Luck will stay the same. By the way, I'm still trying to make a decision on what my next build will be. Excuse me. Should my next build be... I was basically tossing up between Northern Regalia and... or Northern Regalia, I don't know, I guess Regalia, Northern Regalia, and the Blue Blood Blade. The Blue Blood Blade is a luck build. Now, luck builds are not ideal because the luck stat is bugged in Demon Souls, to my knowledge. So, I'll do Northern Regalia, but the problem... or Regalia. Am I saying Regalia or Regalia? Make up your fucking mind, Doomlink. But the problem with a Northern Regalia build is that it's not achievable until New Game Plus, because you need to kill... or rather, you need to acquire both Soulbrand and Demon Brand to get it. And you can't get Soulbrand until you kill the very final boss of New Game, so kind of annoying. Respec, definitely. Was Respec added in the Dark Souls remaster? Because I haven't played the Dark Souls remaster. I've seen gameplay of it, and one thing that I can say for sure is that I'm really glad that they added a bonfire at the Famous blacksmith, but definitely Respec was important for Dark Souls, so if they did that for the remaster of Dark Souls, they'll definitely do that for the remake of Demon Souls, I do think. Unarmed build, please no. I mean, I will do that at some point, but I'm not ready for that yet. My heart and my emotions are not yet ready. I guess heart and emotions are interwoven. But let's take you to 35, that's what I've decided. And I think I'll take endurance to 30 and leave it alone. The rest will be in strength. But I think I want to take you to 50 before I touch endurance. Endurance, endurance. Trapis Rochefort, endurance. Anyway, sorry, any person who is French would be very offended by me attempting to speak French. And also say English words in a French accent that may or may not translate into the actual French language. Oftentimes you can have English words and you just say them with a French accent, and it's actually what's said in French, but anyway. Any French-speaking people, I apologize. But... because, I mean, it's when you do speak French, it's very important to have you have to go all out with the accent. But if you go all out in the wrong way, it can be very offensive, obviously. So I'm probably on the offensive side of the spectrum in that regard. Now, we're at a point where I either stop the live stream or continue, and I think we're going to continue. I think we're going to go through New Game Plus with this build in this live stream because, you know, I want to talk to you guys. Because why not? I'm not French and I'm still disappointed. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I can do no more than apologize for my actions, really. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I don't know how we want to progress through here. It doesn't really matter because there's nothing that I really want. Oh, that's right. What is our... Oh, look at our fucking world tendency for World 1. If you really want to know what's a disappointment, it's my world tendency for World 1. Because that should be at pure white, but I died twice while alive in World 1-1, which is just beyond pathetic. So for that reason, I'm probably at like white world tendency +1. It doesn't even look like +2. So yeah, what we will do, because I think we're ready to continue, is we will go into World 1-2 and make sure that we don't die as we progress through this, because if we do die, I think Mrs. Execution Marauder will be locked for us. Excuse the slurping, that's very rude. I'll be back in just a moment, just going to access the bathroom and then we will indeed continue. And yeah, everyone in this time should be placing their bets as to whether or not I die in this area, because there is definitely a possibility that I will. I will do my utmost to not die, but again, my utmost doesn't always equate to anything of particular significance, because I probably will just die anyway, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll be back in just a moment. So Estus Flasks is our unit of, I guess, well, what we are betting that I end up dying. I'm not going to die, I can assure you. I have confidence in myself. And if I have confidence in myself, that's a good start. But anyway, thank you for your patience. I am now back and ready to sail. We're already at a bad start, or off to a bad start. Okay. I'm killing these guys for fun, really. I don't need to kill them. Let's go straight ahead. We'll ignore everything to our left and right. In the next 5 minutes is a bit rough, Potato. By the way, Potato, are you Potato Wielder? Because there was a guy who used to watch me in the past called Potato Wielder, who was always a bit of an enigma. I'm assuming you are that person. Okay, as to whether or not, or rather as for whether or not I go up here, I guess I will be, because I'm already going up there. It was taking me so long to get my sentence straight that I was already up there, and making the decision that I was going to comment on whether or not I would be going up there, but anyway. That's called a grammatically incorrect sentence, everyone. Now, I know you're still alive. Do a run attack with you. Problem with the run attack is that it can be worse than a roll attack. Run attack does do more damage, but you have this really slow lead up strike that is really not desirable in certain situations, so. Oh, no. Ghost Reflect just asked, do you think this game should have an Estus Flask system in the remake? I can't really think of something that would be worse, because for me, this is Demon Souls. We need to make it very clear that this is not a Dark Souls game. This is Demon Souls. Therefore, we have grass to recover health. We have things like item burden. We have archstones instead of bonfires. It needs to be separate. And for that reason, we do need to have grass. Maybe they don't like the grass system. Maybe they'll find a way to change it. They'll either make grass less abundant, or they'll add an additional mechanic. I understand that maybe, in the opinion of From Software or Bluepoint or whoever is supposed to care, the grass system might be a bit weird, because you can just buy as much healing stuff as you want. What I would rather they did is not touch the grass system, in the sense that you pick up a lot in the world and you can also buy as much as you can afford. I would like them to keep it that way, but counteract that by making the game harder. Have the enemies hit for more. Have the enemies have smarter AI. And do it, I mean this is a tall order, but do it in a way that's more creative and interesting and thought-provoking than that piece of shit of a video game Dark Souls 2 did. So, yeah, I mean, again, tall order, it's all well and good to say do this, do that, but you need to do it, don't you? And I don't necessarily know if Bluepoint is up to the challenge, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was annoying to fight people in PvP who had 99 Dark Moongrass, but I think one of the reasons why people had 99 Dark Moongrass was because of the duplication glitch. We all know about that. That was one of the biggest issues with this Dark Souls game. It was the duplication glitch. That really did ruin a lot of things. It made certain aspects to PvP better because you could make builds very quickly, but it also had the downside like 99 Dark Moongrass. But for people who did similar things in Dark Souls, you had 99 Divine Blessings. Like, there were lots of times in Dark Souls PvP where I would fight people who just seemed to constantly be having Divine Blessings, like drinking Divine Blessings. I guess drinking is the term, or applying, I don't know. But regardless, I can definitely say, I can state categorically that at least on 3 to 4 occasions, I had a person who would just be using Divine Blessings as if they were regular Estus Flasks or something. It was terrible. So, you know, I've definitely seen the same thing in other games. And I do think that most of the people who were running, you know, endless Dark Moongrass were people who were using the duplication glitch, so, yeah. Ah, okay, so you're not Potato Wielder. Good to know. Ah, the one about it dying. Yeah, I did make 2 Monster Hunter Online videos from memory. But that was the last one that I did. I'm glad you joined me from that video. I do always think about the videos that do get a lot of traction on my channel and about how many people become regular viewers as a result of such videos, and I'm glad that you've become a regular video viewer as a result of that. So, it's good to know. It's encouraging. I wonder how many people became regular viewers from my actual most viewed video, which was my Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate video. I think that has about 16,000 views at this point, which by my standards is a lot. Why am I being so foolish? Just parry him, please. I am going to need to go one-handed to do that. Come on. Again, the parry animation, not looking so good. Same with the backstab animation. I'll try to demonstrate that. See how it... What happens is, when you do the backstab animation, you don't position yourself. Your position doesn't change. The enemy snaps into position, and there's a certain distance, and it's very rigid. It's a very rigid animation, backstab animation, and it's the same with the parry animation. Whoa! Night Shield. How about that? Now, it doesn't really make... It doesn't mean so much for our build, because we're not going to use a shield for this build, but the Night Shield is a very low drop rate. About the same as the Night Sword, but I bought the Night Sword. I usually buy the Night Sword and the Night Shield from the Dragling Merchant of World 1-3, but I managed to get the Night Shield from one of these blue-eyed knights here, which is pretty good considering our world tendency. The closer you are to black, the higher the drop rate, and we are still in the positive world tendency at this point. Or white world. Excuse me. Well, 99 life gems... You have to understand that life gems recovered health really slowly. And... For me, in Dark Souls 2, I felt that I had to go and find a safe place to heal more often than any other game. So even though I had as many life gems as I could purchase, it still felt like I needed to heal a lot. I do think that Dark Souls 2 is a hard game. I really do. But I don't think it's creatively hard, as I've said before. I don't think Dark Moon Grass was common. Like, I really don't think it was. New Moon Grass should be more rare. New Moon Grass drops a little bit too frequently in World 1-4. I will say that. But Dark Moon Grass was sufficiently rare. You didn't get too much Dark Moon Grass. I don't think it was ever purchasable, and I don't think that it dropped very much. But New Moon Grass, yeah. Of course, the difference between New Moon Grass and Dark Moon Grass is that New Moon Grass is Divine Blessing, straight up. You drink it, or not drink it, you eat it. You don't drink grass, Doomling, please. I mean, you can if you blend it, maybe, but no, this is a piece of grass that you eat. New Moon Grass is a divine blessing in the way that no matter how much health you have in terms of max health, you will be restored to full. Dark Moon Grass does that, but also heals you of any status ailments such as plague, poison, and bleed. So, or bleed build-up in general. So, that's the difference between Dark Moon Grass and New Moon Grass. Now, New Moon Grass drops pretty frequently in World 1-4, considering that it is basically a divine blessing. Imagine you're going through Dark Souls, and you've got an area where enemies have, let's say, a 40% chance of dropping divine blessings. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? That's basically the problem with New Moon Grass, so... They should definitely speed up combat, because I think, I have a friend, well, I call him a friend, he's more of a viewer, but I do talk to him on Discord from time to time. He's a Russian guy named, I've been calling him Paul, and his name is actually Pavel, but he was one of my earlier viewers when it came to Demon Souls live streams. And he really, really doesn't like what was shown in the Demon Souls remake. He's got very strong opinions in that regard. I was expecting to have one of the most negative views of the Demon Souls remake, because generally that's how I am with video games. I'm usually the negative guy because I have kind of unpopular opinions. But I'm actually alright with what was shown in the reveal trailer. Nothing really stood out to me as being bad. I have concerns because there's a lot of potential for things to go wrong, but I'm not sitting here going, this looks like shit. He kind of is. He thinks that everything from the models to the art style, it looks very generic and uninteresting and boring and not great, and he also hates Dark Souls 3 combat. He doesn't like that it's fast. In my view, combat in this game is fast because animations are instant, very quick, very straight to the point. I feel like Dark Souls 3 combat is more cinematic, but the way that it feels to play is very similar to that of this game that I'm playing here. They don't have to have it be as fast and snappy as it is in Demon's Souls and Dark Souls 3, but they cannot allow themselves to reach the level of sluggishness that was reached with Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 was too slow. Everything you did in Dark Souls 2 made it feel like you were playing some kind of physically disabled character. Someone who couldn't do things quickly. Someone who needed to do everything slowly. And it ultimately came down to the animations. Everything was a little bit over-animated. It was a little bit too drawn out. That's what I think. I'm not some kind of game animator or animator in general, so I could be wrong about that. Maybe I'm attributing the wrong cause to the result that I'm having to deal with, which is ultimately slower combat, but that's what I think it is, and as long as they don't have it be anywhere near what Dark Souls 2 was, as far as that's concerned, I'm alright. I want quick, to the point combat. You want to do something, you do it instantly. It comes down to reaction time, it comes down to all of that sort of thing, whereas with Dark Souls 2 it feels like you're constantly having to fight the animations, or at the very least the controller response, those sorts of things. I'm really not into how they did Dark Souls 2, and I don't even know where to begin when it comes to describing what's wrong with it. But yeah. None of the weapons in Dark Souls 2 felt like they had weight. The animations for, I'm really shocked when I go back to my Pyromancer build in Dark Souls 2, because I actually use the Great Scythe as well as there's some sort of gemmed curved sword that's infused with fire that I use as well, but I have it's either an enchanted or, some sort of magic scaling Great Scythe. And the Great Scythe animations are so weird. They are so strange. And when you said that weapons feel like they don't have weight, that was the first weapon that came to mind. Because the Great Scythe, you swing it around like it's made of paper. Like it swings all over the fucking place. And it's so weird. It doesn't feel like a weapon, it feels like a joke. It's very bizarre. I don't understand what they were thinking with those animations. I mean, they're interesting. I think they're interesting in terms of combat. But in terms of, like, you sitting there and actually appreciating what the animations are in a game where there's, like, supposed to be combat that we take seriously, it's very strange. But yeah. Alright. Come on, Mr. Tower Knight. I do love the Tower Knight, by the way. I think he has an interesting redesign in the remake. There we go, there's our first foot. Oh, I meant to roll through that. I had pretty good timing, but it was slightly too late. I have to say, one thing about the Tower Knight when I was first playing this game was that he has this certain intimidation factor that makes it so that you fight him poorly when you first fight the Tower Knight, because you're so busy being intimidated by him. Because he has this giant shield, and yeah, he's just generally scary, but once you get over that, he's alright. There we go. Oh, let's kill him. Come on. No, you're dying. I will kill you by hitting you in the feet. There we go. Or the legs, whatever works. And that is the Tower Knight dead. Iron Demon's Soul. You are having a bad day. Look at this. His arm is swinging. Ooh. I'm so sorry. Look at that. That looks really painful. I can watch things like this all day. I really can. But if I do watch it all day, you guys will get pretty bored pretty quickly. And of course, for those who are not aware, we cannot access the next area in World 1 until we kill an archdemon. And it's important that they do things like that, because otherwise, a person playing this game for the first time would they would think that they need to continue through this archstone until they complete it. But that's not needed. You can actually kill any of these archdemons and then access the next thing. It's just a way of introducing you to the rest of the game, you know. Yeah, Tower Knight armor and Penetrator's armor. I think that is definitely what they're going to do. Reflect. I think there's no way that they will, there's no way that they won't do that. Because one of the big things about this game is a lack of weapons, a lack of armor, and a lack of general base game content. I think they've already addressed the lack of base game content by including Land of the Giants. And I think one way in which they can include more weapon and armor content, as far as what you can forge, is by including more boss soul weapons, more boss soul armor. Or maybe not even boss soul, just, you know, stuff that you can make that is used by a boss. And I guess things like Penetrator and Tower Knight are definitely viable. Like, I really want them to make the Penetrator sword a better dexterity weapon. Something that's actually going to be comparable and, in fact, better than a lot of dexterity weapons. Even if I do a dexterity build, there's no real reason for me to use the Penetrator sword because it's not that good. Something that is infused with sharps, or rather, a sharp infused weapon which is done with Bladestone. Most of those fully upgraded weapons completely shit on the Penetrator sword. It's just not well balanced. So there's definitely some weapon rebalancing that needs to take place, and the Penetrator sword is such a cool sword. It's really long, it's an interesting design, but it's underpowered. So the Penetrator sword really does need, or the Penetrating sword I believe it's called, really does need a rebalance, and the idea of having the full Penetrator's armor and also the Penetrating sword is really cool. You know, I think the weapons used by the gold skeletons, which is basically a more iron and sharp version of the Yorm's greatsword, I think it's called. I think that was intended to be a weapon that we could use in this game. I think that's considered cut content, so that will definitely be included, I think. Let's put away the spiked shield. We don't need that. Who did I pick that up from? I remember picking that up from an enemy that I wasn't expecting to pick it up from. What's going on? I'll reclaim, that's the problem. Need to deposit. Spiked shield. Who did I pick that up from? Anyway. Putting all that away. Actually, what we'll do is we'll have the knight shield in our inventory in case we really need a shield for something. Doubt we will, but...
You have a heart.
I didn't die. You lost 5 flasks. Yes, I'm sure. Now that's still not at pure white, but we will check just in case. Ugh. I'm already needing another bathroom trip, I have to say. That's the problem with drinking beer, you know. What have we got? Still closed. How annoying. How annoying. That's alright, we can probably just take care of World 2 now. This is the first time that I've done a live stream where I include content from New Game and then move into New Game Plus. In terms of what I do in the video title, I'm not sure, but it should be fine. Actually, do we want to level up? We'll try to level up. Let's consume Iron Demon Soul. It's not going to equate to much, but yeah. We now have a finishing soul value of 86,297.
Mind, key to life.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. We are now at 50 strength. That's what I like to see. We're going to leave strength at 50 for a little while. And then we're going to take, let's do something like take endurance to 35 and vitality to... I'd like to get vitality to 50, but maybe that'll be a more long-term goal. Maybe we'll take vitality to 40, leave it there for a while. Or maybe we could leave vitality at 35. I mean, yeah, that's enough health. Fuck me. Like, who needs more health than that? We'll leave vitality at 35 for a while. I want to get strength to about 65 to 70. And then we'll... oh yeah, endurance can be 35, as I said. So we could also take endurance to 40. It really depends. But, and the thing that it depends on is my whim. So... I don't recall fighting Meralda where she doesn't talk to me. So therefore, I don't know what would trigger her dialogue. Because for me, pretty much whenever I fight her, she is talking to me. So maybe you do something strange when you fight her, I don't know. Oh yeah. I'm going to show you something. See that thing over there? That weird thing with the tail that's moving around? That's a primeval demon. Now, we're going to kill that. To get a colourless demon soul. These things appear at, I believe, 1 level of pure black. And also at pure black. Once I kill this thing, I will take a quick bathroom trip. And we will continue with World 2-1. That's pretty strange, Ghost Reflect. Maybe it's a... it's probably a glitch. I would say that it's a glitch more than anything. What version were you playing on? What are you talking about, Altomar? You keep mentioning Mario Kart. I don't really play Mario Kart on my channel. I did one update video like 2 years ago that had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch that was showcased. But other than that, I don't play Mario Kart, really. Look at this disgusting thing. Oh god, it's attacking me. Please stop. So yes, if you do stand directly in front of it, it does attack you. But let's see how much damage it does in New Game Plus. Enough damage. But yeah, these things cannot move from their positions. And they're really gross. I mean, look at this tail. That's disgusting. Don't push me off, please. But yeah. These are World Tendency Event monsters that only appear, I believe, 1 level of pure black. And remain in the area at pure black. So disgusting. Listen to the sound that it makes. Ugh. You can tell that they're trying to make it sound like a rat or something. I guess that's what the tail's about. Anyway, I will see you guys in just a moment. Yeah, I know PS3 Ghost Reflect. I mean, like, is it the Atlas version, European version, Japanese version, Asian English version? Like, which one of those? Anyway, I'll be back in just a moment. So, Ghost Reflect, I'll help you with this. One moment. This is the Atlas version. This is the greatest hits version. It's, it will actually have Atlas in the corner. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Atlas. I have the greatest hits Atlas version. This is the European version. You can see it has a different rating system. It says 16 in the corner. And it also has Namco Bandai and things like that. This is the Japanese version. This has Japanese written on it. But more importantly, it has Sony Computer Entertainment in the corner. This is the Asian English version. This says English plus Chinese version, and it also says DualShock 3 compatible. Well, thank God for that. And it also has Chinese written on the back. I also have a Black Phantom edition that I've decided not to bring out, but whatever. That's just an Australian PAL version. But yeah, those are your versions. And they don't differ hugely from one another except for the language. The English in the Alice version and the European version are the same, however the English in the English plus Chinese version is different. The English plus Chinese version, in other words, this one here, this is the game that I played originally. This came out before the Alice version, and that was what we had for an English translation before the Atlas version came out. The Atlas version was designed to promote and distribute games in the US. Before the Atlas version picked up, or rather Atlas as a company picked up Demon's Souls, it was an import-only game. So you wouldn't be able to find it in stores and things like that. It was thanks to Atlas that, in the US at the very least, Demon's Souls was something you could find in a store. So yeah. You got the Atlas version? The Atlas version's the worst one. It's the worst because at the moment, because the servers are down, it does this stupid thing where it searches for the server or something like that. So you have to sit and wait for a while it searches for that. It's really stupid. I hate it. The European version doesn't do it. Japanese version doesn't do it. Chinese version doesn't do it. There's a Korean version as well, but I don't think it differs at all from the Chinese English version except for the language that's displayed, so... Actually, no, I don't even think it displays a different language. Like, the Chinese English version, the game itself is in English. But the manual and the actual game cover is in Chinese. Oh god, these dogs are causing a problem already. They're doing a lot of damage to me. Let's be nice and careful. Whoa. No, stop please. This is really not ideal. I don't know if you guys are seeing how much damage these guys are doing to me, but it's ridiculous. Oh my god, look at that! That's unbelievable. No, no, no. These guys are hitting like trucks. That's unbelievable. Yeah, the Black Phantom edition is really nice. The Black Phantom edition is, I think, the PAL term for the special edition of Demon's Souls, but this is what it looks like. You can see the MA15 in the corner. That's the Australian rating system. But yeah, inside is... rather than take out what's inside, I will show you the spines of what's inside. You've got strategy guide, the game itself, and the soundtrack. Oh no, there's the Demon Souls art book. Demon Souls art book is hardcover, the strategy guide is soft cover, and I just wanted to make this point. Please, until the remake comes out, do not use the Fextra Life wiki or the Demon Souls wikia. Use the wiki.wiki, because this strategy guide that's in the Black Phantom edition, and likely the Atlas version as well, this thing here, was written based on the research, not of the official game creators, but the wiki.wiki contributors. The work that they put into Demon Souls information was so well recognized that they made an official strategy guide based on that information. So, please use that. Don't use the fucking Fextra Life wiki. I mean, Fextra Life is shit anyway, but, like, please, don't. I've always used the wiki.wiki because that's what I had available when I first started playing Demon Souls, but a few other websites have cropped up in recent years, but this is a beautiful strategy guide, by the way. It's all in color. I'll show you this here. You've got the flame lurker in the corner. You've got some rockworms here, or just one rockworm. You only have the deluxe edition. I think, yeah, that's the deluxe edition is the US version. But anyway. Just gonna slot this back in here. Okay. Okay. The game itself, I'm not taking it out, but imagine this, but a game version of that, like, you know, the hard plastic game disc that looks like this. So, yeah, Black Phantom edition, pretty cool, because it's all red and stuff. Whoop-de-doo. Excuse me. But yeah, let's go, and I'm not too concerned about dying here, because I'm already at like pure black, so that's fine. In fact, that would be an explanation as to why those dogs were hitting me for so much damage. It's because, or rather for so much health, because we are at pure black in New Game Plus. So therefore, all the enemies are pretty strong. I'm going one-handed and doing piercing attacks because that's what these guys are weak to. Let me just show you what I mean. See how they take more hits this way? It's because they take damage from piercing strikes. Ugh, fucking frame rate. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, what is happening? What? Guys. Look at this. This is terrible. This frame rate right here is just awful. It's been a while since I've had this. Okay, you alright now? No, you're still going to be terrible. Look at this frame rate. What happened to the game? Are you alright now? Let's get out of this fucking area. This is really messing with my frame rate. Yes, I'm sure they will. But I'm keeping my original versions. I don't care about getting special editions for the remake because everyone and their dog's gonna have them. Oh my god, I died again! I need to be really careful with these guys. I need to... The reason why I didn't approach them properly is because I'm so used to fighting them when they're hidden behind those pots. But this time the pots had already been broken, so they came after me much more swiftly. So therefore, I need to pick them off with a bow. That is our course of action. Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, or Ephemeral Eyes rather. Okay, we are done with our beer. Which means that we now need to move on to the harder stuff. Cheers. Oh. Why do I even drink beer? Spirits are so much better. Yes, you as well, Altama. Not that I can read what you're saying. Okay, so once again, we are going to take extra care with these dogs because I forgot. Muscle memory tells me that I don't need to be aware of them, or rather be wary of them, until a little bit further into that room, but I forgot that I had already died to them. Consequently, the pots had already been broken, and yeah. Oh my god, the frame rate in this room is disgusting. It's just so bad. Are you gonna give me some grass? I need grass. I don't need fucking... Okay, iron knuckles, that's lovely, but seriously. Ugh, terrible frame rate in that room. It's not good at all. Okay. Let's backstab you. No, I'm not safe from these dogs. I thought that at least backstabbing that guy would be okay, but I guess not. Oh, look at the fucking frame rate. Ladies and gentlemen, if you needed more of a reason as to why a remake was necessary, this would be it. Terrible frame rate. Slash them. Stay away. No, 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 no. Yeah, this frame rate is disgusting, I have to say. Hit him quickly. No, he's jumping at me. Stop, stop. No, no, I'm gonna die at this rate. I'm about to experience a 10 FPS death. Look at this fucking frame rate. I'm sorry, I can't stop mentioning it because it's so bad. Ugh. Die, please. Thank you. I didn't know that the Dark Souls 1 remaster had the same issues. Does it really? Like, are there actually... Okay, if I play the Dark Souls 1 remaster and go into Blighttown, is it still really low FPS? Because if it is, then that's absolutely inexcusable, and I had no idea that it was that way. Look at this. You know what? For you guys, the frame rate is probably less terrible to look at than it is for me playing the game. So, what the fuck? I did not know that the remaster was just as bad. How could they possibly make a remaster only to... Let me guess, Potato played the Switch version. No. I'm guessing you didn't play the Switch version, but, you know, for me, there should be no possible way for Blighttown to have poor frame rate whatsoever with the remaster. That just makes no sense. You played it on the Switch version? If you actually played the Switch version, then that would be your problem. I don't think the Switch version would be relevant to this discussion, because of course it's going to be... Yeah, okay. So, because you played the Switch version, I think it's acceptable to expect that it will perform worse. So, yeah. Alright, time to kill the dogs. Actually, this is our last dog to be killed. Oh, did you see that? He fucking... Yeah, you dickhead. I hate dogs in all Souls games, I really do. I'm starting to run out of arrows. Not starting to, I have one left. And we'll shoot that into you right there. Alright. I do need to go and buy some more arrows. Okay. Now we can finally progress through World 2-1. I'm so excited. Look how much health this guy has. Alright. Yeah, look, the Nintendo Switch is not a good console at all. It's good for Nintendo games and for less demanding games like, for example, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which has been using the same models for 10 years, you know. But a game like a remaster of Dark Souls 1, is going to need some better hardware than the Nintendo Switch. The Switch just sucks for that. So yeah. I had assumed that there would be some sort of super outstanding circumstance that would lead to you having poor frame rate in Blighttown. But no, actually it is the fact that you're using the Switch to play Dark Souls 1, and yeah, that's your problem. It's not a fault of the remaster, it's a fault of the system being really bad. So yeah, there's not much that can be done there, unfortunately. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and maybe in one recording take care of the whole of New Game Plus. I mean, that's a tall order for sure, but I think I can do it. Let's try our best. Oh, no, I was expecting him to get thrown off the edge. Oh fuck, I knew I wasn't going to kill him with that attack, but I thought he would get pushed off the edge and then he wouldn't be able to hit me. Fucking hell. Ugh. I'm not going to get the whole of New Game Plus cleared at this rate. That's the worst thing about the, those fat assholes. When they're casting their pyromancy, they do not, or I guess their magic. Pyromancy doesn't exist in this game. Their fire magic. When they cast their fire magic, they completely resist everything you do to them. They just stand there and take it. I hate that. I really do. Oh no, Yogatina TV is here as well. Just to get the extra level of Portuguese, you know. One guy speaking a language I can't understand just wasn't enough, you know. I had to have two. Anyway. Die. I don't have any arrows to kill those dogs. This is really bad. I'm not happy at all. It look like a PS2 game. Oh god. I wouldn't doubt that they'll come out with the Switch, or rather the Demon's Souls remake on Switch. I wouldn't doubt it at all. It'll be a really shit version, but you know. Ow. That's how you kill the dogs, everyone. Not as hard as it looks, you just need to play a little better. A little better than Doom Link does at the very least. It actually hasn't been years since I played at random, because I did a livestream playthrough of Dragon Quest Swords, back in... well, it was last year, I think. I think I finished it towards the end of last year. Noble Metal, you want to just continue through the first mirrors. So you've got access to 4 mirrors initially. You want to get past them, and then I think the purple ones will give you access to Noble Metals. So don't expect to get access to them until you've gotten through that much at least. It'll be pretty difficult to kill Dirk Gibb, Nomegoan, and Valgert Nedlog without having the weapons that are forged with noble metals, but you should still be alright if you push forward. Do your best. If you're watching from my 2015 Let's Play, then I love you so much, because, you know, that's a nice Let's Play. I'm happy that that exists. You're a new subscriber. Thanks for subscribing, random. But yeah, I play Dragon Quest Swords from time to time. I don't want to play it too often because it does get a little boring, but I have played it 3 times on my channel. How many times do I need to die in this area? Seriously, this is unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway. Remake would run at like 5 FPS on Switch. No, they would make it so that the game They would lower the graphical quality to the point where it looked like mud before they would have it run at 5 FPS. What they'll do is they'll lower the graphical quality to the point where it runs smoothly on 30 FPS, which is going to look like complete shit, but you know. Stop doing the eyes, Altamar. It's not like I'm going to read what you have to say. I'd have to fucking take like a minute out of the live streaming experience to go and Google Translate your fucking comments. Like, ugh. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense if they put the original Demon's Souls on Switch, although I wouldn't expect them to do that. That's alright, guys. It's time to play more seriously now. No more deaths. We're actually going to complete this. We're going to run through the enemies. I hope you're ready for this. Because I've officially lost my license to kill enemies individually, and slowly, and carefully. We instead need to do some speedrun strats. And they managed to catch me on my roll. Poor timing is what you would call that. Get out of the way. I don't know when they'll come out with the new Switch, really, because have I been... Yep. That just happened. That just happened. Unfucking-believable. I'm starting to get a lot more natural light outside. Oh well. It seems that the lighting settings are still alright for this natural lighting, so I'll keep it as is. But yeah, what I'll do is, I guess I have no choice but to take it slowly through here. I really have no choice. Fortunately, I don't need to get pure white in World 2. Because I don't need that free greystone, so... I don't think that the next Switch, will be something that can't be played portably. I don't believe that it will. I don't believe it for a second. Because I think that in Japan, it's important for them to have games that can be played portably. The Switch is first and foremost for the Japanese market. Then second of all, for the Western market. And portable games do work with the Western market. Now, if portable gaming was completely non-viable in the context of the Western market, the Switch would be distributed in the Western market as a stationary console. That's what I think. But because portable gaming still works with the Western market, I think that they will always have it be... Oh, did I really just do that? For fuck's sake. Let's pick this up and keep going. So much grass has been consumed this day. So much grass. And so many deaths. So many stones of ephemeral eyes have been consumed this day. Really annoying. Really annoying. Anyway. Take two. No, stop! Fucking Jesus. Today is a good day, everyone. Very good day. Imagine if I didn't have the knowledge that I had of this area. Then I would have no hope of clearing it successfully, because my level of skill is obviously not sufficient. There we go. Drop down here. Pull the lever. Ignore the fat guy. Vernon says you can do it. Well, thank you. I have not tried a multi-o, so I don't know what that is. As long as Vernon is encouraging me, I feel like I can succeed. Alright. I can hear the fucking fat guy. The fat official, as he is called officially. laughing at me. I'm not interested in that item just there. I don't care about it. Not interesting at all. We're going to try and get through this as quickly as possible, because I have spent enough time repeatedly clearing that first section while dying stupidly to those dogs, and dying to things outside of the dogs as well. I'm not going to blame it purely on the dogs, because I've definitely done stupid things that didn't relate to the dogs at all. Now we have a Black Phantom scale miner, because we are at pure Black World tendency right now. Whoa. Oh, Jesus. So that happened because he did a jump attack on me out of nowhere. And he is a Black Phantom scale miner, so yeah, that's a one-shot. New Game Plus. It's probably because of translations, Potato. Here we go again. No, obviously I need to, you know, not consume alcohol when I'm playing a New Game Plus. I think we've learned our lesson now. It is what it is. Slow reaction time makes it harder. Now we should still be able to kill these dogs. I believe in myself. There we go. Check out that timing. That is the god's timing right there. Alright. Good night, Potato. Thanks for watching. I believe in ourselves. One thing that I have learnt when it comes to souls is that the best quality that you can have is resilience. Keep persevering in the face of failure, and you will succeed eventually, for sure. That's the reason why I feel that I can play Souls very comfortably these days. It's because I have built up a tough skin that allows me to fail repeatedly, but still have the courage to continue in the face of failure. So yeah. I think that's the most valuable skill you can learn when it comes to Souls. I meant to roll there. Alright. I don't care if you have something to drop. Why did I miss the other guy? Fucking G. No, stop it! Please. I'm actually running out of grass at this point. Okay. Alcohol does make it fun for sure, but I have to say that it is a little bit frustrating to have situations that should be easily conquerable just be completely insurmountable because I have slower reaction time. Ah. I have, so that's what you meant. So when you said Amultios, I didn't know what you were talking about. So it's actually a Hunsterverse for PSP. So maybe it would be worth trying out. Could you tell me what the preventative measures for hacking are on the Amultios servers? Because one thing that is good about Hunsterverse is enforced measures to stop people from using mods and things like that. Just generally cheating, I suppose. Cheating is the best way to describe that. Because one good thing about Hunsterverse is that there are not many cheaters there. I don't have much of an opinion on Ratchet & Clank games, Vernon, because I haven't played any of them. I'm quite familiar with the name. a lot of my friends have played Ratchet and Clank, but I haven't played it personally, so therefore I have no opinion about them. I'm sure they're pretty good because people who, in my opinion, have a good view of what a good game is, have enjoyed Ratchet and Clank, so therefore I'm sure it's pretty good as a game series overall, but I haven't played any of those, so I can't give you a personal opinion on them. Unfortunately. They're good at banning cheaters? Okay. With that in mind, I will probably try out those servers for sure. I hadn't even heard of it, but how do I get started with the Amalteo server? Do they have a Discord? Like, is it, again, keeping in mind that my only point of reference is Hunsterverse, is it integrated into Discord? Or is it completely separate from that? I'm going to bypass these guys, fuck them. I'm seriously running out of grass here. Maybe I have some new moon that I can use. Yeah, I do. I have 14 new moon grass, what the fuck? Unbelievable. They have a Discord? Okay. I'll definitely give them a try. But I've never really felt like I didn't have enough people to play with on Hunsterverse. I don't really play on Hunsterverse that often, but there's nothing wrong with having another community to give a chance. So I will try the Amalteo server. They have an in-game chat. How does that work? How can an in-game chat work? Can you explain that to me a little further? That sounds really interesting. Oh, I'm going to die to these lizards if I'm not careful. This is the next thing that I have to try and handle. Get out of there. No! On the screen as you play. So, does this operate through PPSSPP? Like, if I don't understand what this is. This sounds like something that I would need to download that's special, because I don't understand how I would be able to just take an ISO of, say, for example, Freedom Unite, load it onto PPSSPP, and then suddenly have an in-game chat on screen. Unless they have something that directly interacts with PPSSPP that can somehow overlay the game itself. They made their own version of PPSSPP. Okay. Huh. I'll have to try this out. I'll definitely have to try this out. Is it... Can it easily... yeah, I'll work it out. I'll definitely work it out. That sounds very interesting. In-game chat is a lot more interesting than having to have a separate screen to look at a Discord chat or something. I've nothing against Discord, but God, that sounds much better to be able to chat in-game. Stop! Look at how much damage those fucking dogs do to me. It's unbelievable. This is so bad. Fucking hate these dogs in New Game Plus. They can fuck off. I really need that binded set for a little bit of extra defense. Fucking hell. Alright, let's go. Skip that. Nope, going in the wrong direction. Okay. We now are very close to the boss. We should be able to kill the boss without much issue. And you know what? I think I'm going to end it after this because I have taken way too long to do this. You can play other PSP ad hoc games, that's good. I haven't played God Eater, but I probably will play it eventually. Not sure when. It's not high on my list of priorities, but it is a game that I've been feeling like it would be worth to play. Yeah, I'm probably going to stop after this. Blow that up. Thank y'all. Let's be nice and careful with this guy. Alright, there's going to be a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes just over here, or Ephemeral Eyes, for God's sake. which is really important for me after having used probably like 5 or more in this area alone. So, yeah. I think it's kind of unbelievable that there has been absolutely no interactions on Twitch from Twitch viewers during this recording. I've been going for 2 hours and 36 minutes, so I don't know. A little strange, but anyway. So we are going to kill the armor spider, and then I think that will wrap up our Demon Souls livestream today. This is much further than I usually go when it comes to going from New Game into New Game Plus. I don't know if I'll have to do something particular with this video title, but I meant to roll there. I'm at risk of death here. Quick. Okay. That attack is doable from that distance. I really should have equipped the other weapon that I have, that I keep forgetting the name of for some reason. Yeah, everything is doing a lot of damage right now. I'm in New Game Plus, and I'm also at Pure Black World Tendency. That's the biggest thing. New Game Plus is bad enough, but when you're at Black World Tendency, that really does make everything harder, so it's an extra challenge. That was really poorly positioned. Oh, I'm at such a great risk right now, look at this. No fireballs, please. No fucking web either. That's really bad. No fire, no web. Just physical attacks, thank you. Oh no. I'm definitely at risk of failing this. I'm not going to deny it. Let's go and equip New Moon. Crescent Moon is not viable at this point, for obvious reasons. No, I meant to roll to the side. Alright, I guess we'll have to stop there, guys. I don't know why I managed to fail that, but I did. I was thinking that that was going to be really risky, but yeah, that was really not ideal at all. Oh well. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been an opportunity to leave you guys with a more well-clarified opinion when it comes to me and the Demon Souls remake. We've had a bit to talk about for sure, and yeah, I'm sure that as I continue recording Demon Souls there will be more to discuss, but for now I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you when I'm next recording Demon Souls, and possibly anything else that you might be willing to watch of mine. And yeah, thanks for joining me, Vernon Hensley, again, and everyone else. And of course, Ghost Reflect. I haven't seen you often, but I hope you start watching me more frequently. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.